Hey guys, I am Ian K, and in this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Rather than doing showcases that I usually do on my channel, I'm going to do I guess a series on how I manage my gear. So if you've seen from a lot of my showcase where I showed the gears on my champion, I have pretty decent gear. I also have quite a lot of gear in my uh, inventory, and I just wanted to, I guess, explain how I manage my gear, what I keep, what I sell, how I roll my gear, just as a general guideline for some of you who are probably in the early mid game who are probably hoarding up a lot of gear. You don't know what to keep and you don't know what to sell. So I'll just share what I do, my strategy on how I manage my gear. So in this first part video, I'm gonna be focusing mainly on just the gloves, the gauntlets. Then, depending on how this video does, if you like this, my guide, I will also extend it to all the other gear pieces, the chest, the boots, and then the top row pieces as well, the weapon, the helm, and the shield. All right. So, starting off with the gauntlets, this is just a general guideline of how I manage a gear when I get them from the dungeon. So, I'll go into each of them in detail in the following slides, but the first is how I classify a piece. So, when I get a piece, I'll classify the piece based on the main set of the piece, whether they are a damage dealer piece or a support piece. Then I take a look at their substats combination. So depending on the substats, what they have, then I'll determine whether they are matching the classification of the piece, whether they are a damage dealer or support piece, and then number three, I'll decide whether to keep or sell them. And then if I decide to keep them based on the matching substat and main stat, then you have to roll the gear. Then once you've finished rolling the gear, you see where the outcome of the roll goes into. Then again, you decide whether to keep or sell the piece. Then once you decide to keep that piece based on the rolls, the sixth part, which is more uh, of a, I guess, a advanced level uh, tip, if you have too much I guess, artifacts where you are like maybe above 900 and you only have a little bit of space left, then this is more an advanced tip where you start to compare the pieces or similar pieces that you already have and then keep only the best ones. You sell the weakest link and you keep only the best ones, right? So let's go over in detail. So classifying a piece. When you get a glove, a glove artifact, the first thing you want to do is classify a piece based on their main stats. So for a glove, the main three main classifications are a damage dealer piece, a support piece, or a specialty piece. The in a damage dealer piece, which is pretty not surprising, it's the crit rate or crit damage main stat. For a support, it's either HP percent or defense percentage main stat. And specialty piece are all the other stats, which are attack percentage or flat stat pieces. All right, so this is how I classify a piece. So once you classify a piece, then that is where you look at the subset combinations. So for the damage dealer piece, which are crit rate and crit damage main stat, these are the substats that I put priority in. The first priority in ascending in this descending order. So the first priority is speed. The next is crit rate and crit damage, or crit damage depending on the main stat. So if it's a crit rate main stat, I look for crit damage main stat. If it's a crit damage main stat, I look for crit rate main stat. And then the third priority is the accuracy substat, and then the main stat percentage, which are depending, obviously, if you're a attack nuker, you want attack percentage, defense percentages for a defense nuker, HP is for HP percentage nukers. Next is the support piece. So in the support piece, we have the HP percentage and defense percentage main stat, and these are the subset priority. So the first priority is speed, second is accuracy, third is resistance. It's only recently I've started to put a lot of value in resistance due to the Heart Doom Tower. where resistance is starting to become more and more important and more useful, not just in high tier arena. So resistance is starting to get more and more useful even in PvE content. And then finally, we have the HP and defense percentage, the opposite of whatever the main stat is. So if you have HP percentage, you look for defense percentage. Finally, we have the specialty piece. So the specialty piece is mainly, so under normal circumstances, I will sell all attack percentage and flat stats gloves, but the specialty pieces are pieces that have speed and accuracy subsets, and they are either legendary or on the fence are epics. So these specialty pieces are pieces where you want to roll on them if they have speed and accuracy, and you want to hit your rolls on those speed and accuracy. If any of those rolls, so this is where you get your like quad speed or triple speed and triple accuracy, those kinds of pieces. So for some pieces, especially like speed gear pieces, it doesn't matter what the main stat is, as long as you get double or triple or quad roll in speed, that is a top tier piece. So the main stat doesn't matter. And the same can be said with accuracy for specific champions, for example, like Madame Cirrus in Arena, where the stats don't really matter. You just want as high accuracy as possible. All right. Okay. So once you've determined the main stat of the pieces, that is where you start to decide whether to keep or sell your piece. So for me, in my uh, judgment. If it's a rare piece, I only keep it if they have at least one of the first or second priority substats. If they don't have any one of those substats, I'll sell. So first and second priority, what I mean is this two. So if it's a crit damage glove that doesn't have these two stats, I will sell. If it's a crit damage glove that only have this row, the third priority stats, I will sell them. The same with the HP and defense. If it only has resistance and HP, I will sell. They needs to have at least one of the top two substats. And this similarly applies to the specialty piece. And the epic piece, so for epic, I will sell a piece if they don't have at least one of any of the priority substats. So it can be any of the substats, especially if you're early game. So if you're a little later in the game, you might sell them, but that comes a little later, obviously in the later part where you start to compare your gear. So if you have other gear that are already better than the ones that have, let's say, the third and fourth priority subsets, then it's a sell. All right. But if you're early game, this is kind of early mid game, this is kind of the criteria that I do. It should have at least one priority subset. And then for legendary piece, it's the same thing. You should have at least one priority subsets to keep. So, right? If it doesn't have any priority subsets for epic and legendary, it's a sell. All right. So now all your pieces have those substats that I mentioned. They match the main stat. Now this is where you have to roll your gear. I have taken over a few accounts already. Did some, I guess, account takeovers, and almost all the accounts, they have a ton of gear that are unrolled. So without rolling your gear, even it doesn't matter what subsets you have, you don't know how good the gear is until you start to roll them. So my suggestion is to always roll your gear to at least +8. Once you roll a gear to +8, then you'll have a much better picture of how good the gear is, and you can make a better decision on whether to keep or sell that piece. So any gears that you decide to keep, just roll them to +8. It will take time, it will take some getting used to, but as if you do it as and when you get a gear, it won't be as bad. So that's the tip, roll your gear to at least +8. Okay, so once you start rolling your gear to +8, then again, you decide whether to keep or sell that piece. So if the piece have all the substat combinations, for example, a crit damage piece that has speed, crit rate, and let's say attack percentage, all those are good substats. So it doesn't matter what it rolls, right? Anything it rolls, you keep it. So that is what I mean by all the subset combination. So if a piece have all, you keep it regardless of how it rolls. That's a great piece already. Now the second, this is when you have to decide if a piece has a non-priority step stats. So for example, uh, again, crit damage glove with speed, crit rate, and let's say resistance. If both rolls miss those substats, for example, if both of them roll resistance, um, it for me it is a sell. But for you, it might be a keep depending on your other crit rate gloves. So, for example, if that is the only crit damage glove that you have to, it's bad, right? So you have to sell it. So that is I'm sorry, if that's the only crit damage glove that you have, then you have to keep it. But if you have already a lot of crit damage glove, already a lot of decent crit damage glove, if something that if you miss your roll, that is a sell. That's probably, I guess, a bad example since crit damage glove is quite valuable. I guess a better example is like a HP percentage um, chest with, let's say, speed, resistance, and attack percentage. So if you have speed, resistance, attack percentage, if both rolls hit attack percentage, that is already a bad piece. So I would sell that piece. So again, this is just a guidelines that I follow. So if you are short on gear and you really want to make room, right? If you're like at 900 gear space already and it's you want to make room, I suggest rolling your epic and legendary pieces to plus 12, not just plus 8, because plus 8 is mainly for rare pieces. Plus 8 will give you a better idea, but if you need more room, I suggest rolling your epic and legendary pieces to plus 12. And that is where, because sometimes if you roll it to plus 8, you can have like one roll in the right roll, one roll in the second roll, which is still, sorry, one roll in the correct stats and a second roll in like the you missed the right subsets. So that is still like a 50-50 piece. So if you roll it to plus 12, and let's say you hit the subsets again, then that will be a keep. But if you miss the subset a second time, that would be most likely a sell, since you probably won't use that piece and you don't know how good a piece is until that piece is until you roll it to plus 16, which maybe it will be quite expensive, so it might not be worth it. But if again, if that's the only piece you have, it's wise to keep it. So this is where the final piece, the final tip comes in, where you start comparing your pieces. So this, on one hand, it kind of um, applies if you are short on inventory space. So you can perform this step by comparing your gear pieces to decide whether to keep or sell. So if you have multiple HP percentage glove, let's say you have five of them, that is, in my opinion, it's too much. You should keep at most two or three of the same main stat piece on each set. So if you have five, you start to pick out which are the best three, and then you sell the weakest two. And then you can decide which are the best three mainly on their subset as well as their rarity. So usually the 6-star pieces with the priority subsets are the ones that you keep. Okay. Then if you have yeah, so this is what I mentioned before. If you have more than three of them, you sell all of the rest and you keep the best ones. Yep, so you keep at most two or three and you sell if you have the more than three. All right, so some advanced tips that I have is mainly if you have, again, a lot of gear pieces, some advanced tips is to consider the sets. So support pieces are better in obviously support sets. So for example, perception, accuracy, or speed. Those sets are like resistance sets. You want to keep in mind that having the support stats on those sets are much more important than say having the support stats on like a savage piece. It's still good as a broken piece, but it's not as good in the right sets. Then consider the rarity. Again, so if you're comparing the 5-star and 6-star pieces, a 6-star piece, a 6-star rare piece can usually be better than a 5-star epic if they roll right. So a 6-star crit damage glove rolling double crit rate is better than it can be better or as good as a 5-star epic crit damage that rolls, let's say, two rolls in crit rate and one roll in speed. Even though that is the perfect roll, a 6-star can still be better. And then the next is to consider high rolls and low rolls. So an example is the speed on a speed set. A five-star rare, um, a five-star epic speed set that rolls like triple roll speed. If you get low rolls of four times, right? So it comes with four speed, and then you roll three times hitting speed, all three of them hit four. So that's a 16 speed compared to a six-star rare speed set piece that comes with five speed, and then it rolls a six, and then it rolls another six. So that's 17 speed. So a double rare six stars speed can be better than a triple speed accuracy. So consider that when you are deciding your gear. All right, so now that is my guidelines that I follow on how I decide on what to keep and what to sell. And I'll show an example of on my account on some of the gear pieces. So I've just farmed some artifacts. So let's see the gloves. So these are some, I guess, 8 pieces of artifacts that I found farmed from farming Ice Golem. So let's see. So crit damage without any of the priority substats. This is a sell. Crit rate with speed, HP, and attack. So these are decent substats. I will keep it because it's a legendary and it has speed. So this is a combination of like a damage dealer piece plus a specialty piece. So I'll keep it to roll to see if it hits speed. The only substats that really matter here is actually speed. So if it rolls other substats, I'll probably sell it, but I'll keep it for now. Crit damage without any of the top two priority substats, and it's a a five-star rare. I'll not keep it. This is a flat stat without the priority substat, so it's not a specialty piece. I'll sell. Attack percentage without any of the top two priority, so it's not a specialty piece. I will sell. The same thing here. Same thing here. No priority substats. A support piece based on HP percentage without any of the priority subsets. So no speed, no accuracy. This is a sell. So now I'll roll this to +8 to see if it hits speed. Okay, this is most likely already a sell. Let's see the second roll. Okay, so I didn't hit any of the stats, so this will be a sell. So if you do it on the fly by rolling your gear as and when you get it, it will take much less time. So, and then example again, just to show how I manage my gear. So I have in total, I have 64 unworn gloves. So just let's see an example of a support piece. So an HP percentage piece. So in every single set I have, at most I think I have two of a piece. So I don't have more than two pieces of a specific subset in my inventory. So a defense percentage, again, everything at most I have two pieces in each set. Specialty pieces, HP, defense, attack, flat stat, I have none. Attack percentage, I have a few that I consider specialty pieces. This has speed and accuracy, which I rolled into. I still keep it just in case I need it. This base, I guess this is just a funny piece that I decide to keep. I had an attack percentage with speed and a triple crit damage. It's probably not a good piece, but I'll just keeping it just for fun. Then perception. This is where it's a specialty piece again, and I rolled triple accuracy. And this is in a priority set perception with triple accuracy. So that's why I'm keeping this piece if I need a lot of accuracy on one of my champions. Crit rate, again, I only have at most two in one set. Crit damage is a bit more priority. So again, still at most two and maybe three in a specific set. So these are how I keep my inventory clean. All right, so as an example of some pieces that I've kept, okay, so let's see, for a rare piece, this rare glove, it's a HP percentage. It has one speed roll, so it's a rare piece with one of the priority substats, and I rolled at least one of them, so which is why I'm keeping it, and it's a 6-star. So normally this is not it's a decent piece. It's not good, but this is the only HP percentage main stat glove that I have in this set. So it's the only one that I have, so that's why I'm keeping it. If I have like multiple other gloves, this would probably be a sell. Uh, yeah, so that's one of the reasons where you compare a glove. So for a legendary piece, this one here again, so I have a speed and accuracy. So I rolled two of them in the mains in the priority substats, which is why I'm keeping it. This one here, so this is one of my earlier pieces that I got when I was, I guess, early in the game. So this is at my account level, this is already considered a sell if I rolled these two substats, or if I just get this piece on its own. I would probably sell it, but when I rolled it, I got lucky. I rolled into speed and accuracy, which is why I kept it. But I think at this level, I would probably sell this glove already. All right, another piece here. So this is another example as a support piece. I have three of the priority subsets. I got speed, defense, and accuracy, which is why I kept it. Regardless of how it rolled 1, 1, 1 in each. I kept it. An epic piece here. Again, it has all three priority subsets. It doesn't matter how it rolled, I kept it. Then another one here. So this roll, double speed, crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy. So these are all good rolls. Initially I rolled double speed, that's why I kept it. Then a defense. So speed, yeah, speed, I rolled double speed, so that's why I kept it. This is a no-brainer. Resistance. So this is it has, when I got this piece, it has three of the priority subsets. So which is why I kept it. I rolled it. Regardless of how it rolled, I kept it. I would probably sell it if it rolled like a triple crit damage, but it rolled into the priority subset, so that's why I kept it. Here, a defense percentage with speed accuracy, and I rolled into them. That's why I kept it. If this rolled a triple attack or double attack, I would have sold this glove. So there's a couple here. So this is defense. I rolled into a single speed and two um, HP, and this is a high roll as well, pretty high, almost a perfect high roll of 21 is the highest, so I kept it. Same here. It has speed, accuracy. It rolled double crit damage. I probably would sell this. So this rolled double of the stat that I don't want. So this is where I would sell this piece. Here again, it rolled into two of the stats. It had two priority stats, but it rolled two of them into the priority stats. Only one miss, so that's why I kept it. All right, so these are just a few examples. Then let's see some crit rate gloves. So this one here is so this is probably one of my earlier gloves that I got on my account, which is why I kept it. But at my level, this is considered like a bad glove already because it doesn't have any of the priority substats. So this would be a sell. This one rolled double speed, which is why I kept it. Again, so this is a double roll crit rate glove with two of the priority stats, speed and crit damage, and I rolled. Regardless of how it rolled, I probably would have kept it, and it rolled double speed, so this is why I kept it. Here, crit rate, it has four stats. This is speed, accuracy, attack, and some defense. So these are all good stats. So all of them, it rolled into double defense, which I don't really want, but I kept it because I've used this glove in my clan boss team that has like a support champion in the team. So the defense is useful for that. So I've kept this glove. I haven't used it. I probably at my level I would sell it, but I just kept it just in case. And this is the only glove, crit rate glove that I have in the cruel set. So that's why I kept it. Same thing here. It rolled triple HP with crit damage. It has priority substats with speed, crit damage. It rolled the triple HP percentage in the first roll, so it's a good piece already. So I kept it. Here it has speed, crit rate with speed, crit damage, and the attack all three priority substats. So it doesn't matter how it rolled. I kept it. So that's an example of some items I have. So now it's the crit damage glove. So this one, it is a crit damage. It has one of the priority substats, which is um, speed, and then there's another priority substats, but it's not the high priority substats, which is why I kept it. So, but then I rolled it to 12 and I got the defense substats, which is not what I wanted. So I think this will probably be a sell. So the reason I kept it at first, oh, did I sell it already? Okay, well, anyway, the reason I kept it at first was because that was my only crit damage glove on that set, so that's why I kept it. But I guess I accidentally sold it just now. Well, that's too bad. Here, crit damage with speed, accuracy, crit damage. So this has priority substats. It is missing the crit rate, but I kept it because it has all the other priority substats. So it doesn't matter how it rolled, I kept it. This glove here, it has one of the priority substat, double speed. So I rolled both into the priority substats, so that's why I kept it. Let's see, and one of this double crit rate with attack. It doesn't have speed, but it has the other priority substats, so that's why I kept it when I rolled it. Savage, so it has speed, the one of the priority, and the second a second priority substats as well, and I rolled into them, so that's why I kept it. The 12 and 16 roll didn't roll well, so that's why this is still sitting in my inventory and no one has it, but this is one of the open crit damage glove in Savage that I have, so I'm keeping it. One legendary piece here, so it has speed and HP percentage, but the other two substats are bad. But then when I rolled into all the substats that the good substats. So that's why I'm keeping this piece. If it rolled into the flat HP and resistance, I would have sold it already. This piece here, yep, it rolled into a triple speed, so that's why I kept it. If it rolled into any of this other substats, I would have sold this piece. And just another one. Again, speed and attack. So it rolled speed and attack, which is why I kept it. If it start to split like 1-1-1, attack and HP doesn't really match together. So if it rolled 1-1-1, I would have sold it. But now it's rolling into like the one main stats that I want. If it rolled, the last roll here gets the crit damage, this would have been a good piece. And lastly here, so this is an example. It's split rolled, whereas this it rolled into just one attack. So this split into attack, defense, and crit rate, which is not something that I want. I would sell this piece, but this is the only crit damage glove that I have in this set, so I'm keeping it since this is the only one. All right, so those are just some examples of the pieces that I have and why I kept them. This one here, speed double attack. This is not really a good piece, to be honest, but this is the only glove, crit damage glove that I have in this set, so that's why I'm keeping it. All right, so those are just some of the pieces that I kept. Yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if this guide is helpful to you. If you want me to continue with this series, I will make a video for all the other artifact types, the chest, the boots, and the top row. And let me know if any of this tip is helpful to you. All right? Or let me know if any other information that you would like in this video, and I could add it in my future videos. All right. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.